Oh, not said this out loud yet.
Get ready to have your mind blown.
And Postecoglou can't survive this situation.
Chelsea are looking slightly flawed.
To be honest with you,
Right, people, get comfy because it's that time of the year again. Head and heart predictions, asking the biggest fan channels from around the Premier League, every single Premier League club. I haven't seen any of these, by the way, so this will be my initial reaction to seeing them. And there is one that I absolutely have to click on first. Right, we have to start with Billy the Bee. I'm absolutely desperate to watch this, but I wanted to do instant reactions. So here we finally are, because he told me, I bumped into him at the Brentford Man City game, and he said, oh, I'm going to go do it in Iceland. And I was like, all right, Bill, that's amazing. Thank you. Not what we're expecting. So let's see what's going to go on here, because I think he's at. I don't know what's going on in the background. Let's see what he's got to say. I've been waiting to see what's going on here because he said it was pretty special.
So Billy Grant here from Besotted, the Brentford podcast. We're very happy with the way that the Bees have been playing this season. Our team is coming back, so hopefully in 2025 we can actually flip the script and actually stop letting in goals, because away from home we are pretty terrible, it has to be said. We've only won one game away from home, and that was 5-0. Oh, look at that. That's quite bad, this.
No way. That's crazy. This is the best fan cam I've ever seen.
My heart is saying.
Did you just see that? Did you see his face? Hang on.
Oh, look at that.
Look at him. Look at his eyes. Look how his eyes changed. Whoa. Up there. Oh.
My heart is.
What? So he's just going to carry on after that? Professionalism. Anyway, back to. Hey, I'm trying to do a job here. Amazing.
Saying. Brentford, if we can get 6th place, I'll be very happy.
Brentford. Love that.
In the Premier League this season. It's going to be tough if we can get Europe 6th place. However, my head is saying...
I'm not even listening to it now. All I'm looking at is it going to bubble up again?
Like
is it going to bubble up again?
Because,
12th place, he says.
Our away record isn't great. I think we're going to flip that up. We're going to start getting on track.
Oh!
This is all going off here behind me.
Amazing.
But anyway, enjoy your football, and I'll catch up with you at a ground near you very soon.
Billy the Bee, what an absolute hero. Thank you, mate. Incredible stuff. So Brentford at the moment are within that bracket of 8th to 12th, which obviously could change at any time. The one thing I would say, the home form is so good, and they were so good when I saw them recently against Man City. What I will say is that they've played a lot of the teams in the bottom half at home, and so we'll have to play them away. Will their away record get better? Yeah, I think it will. But will the home record take a hit? Possibly. So I think he's in a smart little bracket there between 8th and 12th. 8th would be a bit of a push, but with a good squad, an exciting squad, and if they can hold on to everyone in January, why not? Why not finish 8th? I am forever impressed by Brentford, annoyingly. Right, next up, Dave has a party. Will he be having a party come the end of the season? Let's see what he believes one of the best trims in the game.
Hi folks, it's Dave from Talking Wolves. Head and heart prediction. It's been a difficult season for Wolves. Obviously, we've had the managerial change. Gary O'Neill left the club, and we've brought in Vitor Pereira. And as I speak, it's been a fair...
See the little... Let's just hear that. See the Pereira. Could have said Pereira. He's developing. This is the brainwashing of Portuguese influence within the Wolves setup here.
Vitor Pereira and...
Oh, did you hear it? Pereira,
and as I speak, it's changed. Gary O'Neill left the club, and we've brought in Vitor Pereira. And as I speak, it's been a fairly positive start to life under the new head coach. I still believe that Wolves have the quality to stay in the Premier League. I think a couple of additions may be needed in January, but honestly, I think my head and heart is probably in the right sort of place. I'm thinking a 16th or 17th place finish for Wolves, but I just think Wolves have got that edge, a little bit of quality that should keep us in the Premier League. So fingers crossed, and talk to you guys again next season, and fingers crossed at the end of the season, I'll be keeping this smile on my face.
Oh, we want to see a smile when it comes to Dave. I think, look, again, maybe we're trying to create narratives here, and it's a funny old time for Wolves, but I think his head's in the right place. What I will say is I take in videos from all of these creators, including Dave. Now, is this fair for me to say? But I had watched Dave talk about it, and it was about Gary O'Neill, but he was also very accepting of the fact that he felt the squad wasn't good enough. Now, I said the exact same about QPR less than a month ago, and look where we are. So things can change. So hopefully, with Pereira coming in, that's where the uplifting confidence has come into Dave's mind. So so that's good. That's hopeful. But it is tight down there, and the last few games haven't been totally ideal. Matheus Cunha, will he still be there? And how much is that going to hurt them? Let me know, Wolves fans. Do you think you'll be okay? Right, next up, let's keep it good looking with John CC. JCC. He is always looking great, and here he is looking. John! Take your top off at least. Show us the abs.
Now, I'm going to give you a spoiler. I think we're going to finish above QPR this season. We look stronger than them once again. But I'm probably going to say Conference League is where my heart's leading us, but my head is saying 9th place. I'd be surprised if we didn't finish in the top half of the table. Marco Silva's got us playing amazing football. The only thing that could stop us is we're still in that FA Cup, and Fulham fans, we really want a cup. So we're probably going to put a lot of effort into that FA Cup run, as we should, because there's some amazing teams going for that Conference League place. But wouldn't it be amazing if we got it? We're going to Europe, baby. Follow the heart.
Follow the heart, indeed, John. Thank you for the lovely little dig there. No, don't say it. Don't say it! Fulham are good. Fulham are a good team. Well, I have heard this from every Fulham fan, though, that their head is in the right place. Go get yourself an FA Cup. Because, of course, with the Conference League, the exciting thing about the Conference League is you can go deep in the Conference League, right? So in terms of wanting a European tour, it's the destinations you're after. Like, if you're after ticking off countries, sure, get yourself in the Conference League. It's going to be a great time. And you're going to get more games, more trips, if it all goes well. But Europa League, Premier League side in the Europa League, full stop, should be doing quite well. And so winning the FA Cup would lead them to that. And you've won a major trophy as well, which Fulham have got in their locker. So smart stuff from John. Right, next up, my guy, Nicky from West Ham Fan TV. Let's see what he's got to say. Now, can we check out last year's? Because I think we had a bit of a battle last year.
Jim, just to say, I won't be making my apologies to David Moyes because there's always going to be a debate raging on.
He wanted him out, and I said you should say sorry. He said he's not going to say sorry. And then by the end of it, he was probably right because David Moyes then went with the blessing of the fans, but at the same time they felt like they could do better. But then they've gone through what they've gone through this year. I wonder if he'll even touch on that. But now they got Potter, so let's see how he's feeling.
Me back on the channel. My name's Nicky Hawkins, West Ham Fan TV. James has asked me to give you a answer on where I think West Ham will finish this season. Obviously, Lopetegui has gone and Graham Potter has just come in, and Graham Potter has come in under a real tough set of circumstances, really. Probably the worst injuries we've had for a very long time. You know what? Under Lopetegui, I would have said we would have finished around 15th, 14th. But I think under Potter, there will be some changes. There will be some advancements in the way we play. And I think we will start picking up form towards the end of the season. So I'm going to say 11th, possibly 12th, but I'm going to stick with 11th for now. I think we will do much better next season, but I think Lopetegui's gone a little bit too late to do anything significant this season. So I think Potter's got a tough set of circumstances. So I think 11th place for West Ham United.
11th spot is a funny one for West Ham because I think they're going to go in the market and I think they're going to look to make some big waves. Can they get the Lingard effect and bring someone in who hits the ground running? If that is the case, then there is quality in that squad. We did a video talking about how Graham Potter would set up, and I think this team is far better suited to him than to Lopetegui, and we saw that. And so if they can get a striker through the door, which they're obviously desperate to do with the injuries that they've got, then that gives them a chance. But not having Jarrod Bowen in the second half of the season, I think is really, really tough in what is a very competitive league. And you've got teams that I think will be looking to get up from that lower part of the table, Tottenham, Man United as well. So it's going to be a bit of a rush for the top. So will they end up in 11th spot? I think it's a little bit hopeful, but an understandable hopeful.
Hiya, Jim. Head versus heart prediction time again. I think it's always the same with Crystal Palace. We sound a little bit boring. We sound a little bit as though we're just treading water in the Premier League.
Right. Actually, this is one. So can I see a snippet from last year's prediction from Dan? And then we'll play this and we'll see if it is similar to last season. Because I reckon it's going to be exactly the same.
So many Crystal Palace fans feel as though we are treading water. We sound a little bit as though we're just treading water in the Premier League, and maybe to neutrals that isn't something they necessarily are infused by. But as someone who's supported this club my entire life, seeing us at the top table of the English game is always something I'm pleased about. I think head-wise it has to be 12th. That seems to be our natural position in English football's hierarchy, and I see no reason to dispense with that particular train of thought going into the end of this season. Heart-wise, I'll suggest, 9th and an FA Cup. As I've said many times, I would love nothing more than for Crystal Palace to get their hands on some silverware. We've got a 4th round tie away at Doncaster. Who knows where it takes us? Cheers, mate.
The cup thing, get it into your head that is such an tantalising opportunity for mid-table teams in the Premier League. And I think this season, more than any other season, I think once you're above 15th, once you're into 15th, 24 points at the moment at the time of recording, 16th for 18th spot, you can plan for next season, but you can also plan for the cup competitions. I like the fact that the Fulhams and the Palaces are going, come on, switch on. I just hope the managers do the same. Right, one team that might be struggling this season we're going to put it out there, Southampton. Let's see what Martin's got to say. Cracking channel, great bloke. Go check him out.
I'm Martin Sanders from the Football Martin channel. My predictions with my heart and my head for Southampton. I'm going to go with my heart first. And James, I'm going to dream a bit now.
Come on.
I'm going to dream that we sign a striker in the window.
Okay.
That comes in and scores a load of goals between now and May. That we become harder to beat. And we don't let in sloppy goals anymore. We start to score from set play. And the Saints stay up by the greatest escape ever in Premier League history.
Stop it, Martin.
Now with my head, that will not happen. There's no danger of that happening. Saints will go down, rock bottom. There's no doubt about that. And it's how bad it gets. Hopefully the players show some fight and some desire and we get more than 11 points. But I think it will be very, very close.
That's sad that's becoming the aim, is to not... Because I think they're in that bracket, aren't they? They're in the bottom echelon of all-time Premier League teams. You think of Derby, Sheffield United last season, Sunderland a couple of years back as well, Swindon Town. They're in that bracket. However, you don't want to be the worst in that bracket. They've got to double their points tally to not be the worst of all time. But that's actually 2 wins. If they win three games on the spin and the teams around them don't, they are all of a sudden just a point out off the relegation zone. So it isn't over. I just think, as Martin said, the desire's doesn't feel like it's there. And that comes from a lack of confidence. Also, falling into the trap that we all do is you think that you shouldn't be getting slapped up by Brentford. No one's too big and too good to get slapped up by Brentford. And it seems, Brentford fans tell me this, it seems to hurt teams more when they get done by Brentford. So maybe I'm going to have to let that one go, to believe once more that you can somehow stay up. I'd love to see it. Is it possible to go up, stay up, and start to build something special? Let's ask Tom Jordan. I have been buzzing to see this one.
Hello, Jim. As you can imagine, as a Bournemouth fan, very upbeat, very smug, and very optimistic at the moment. Unbelievable 2024. And
no one does smug like my boy Tom. And I'm here for it. Come on.
If I'm thinking with my head, though, we've had some really bad injuries. We're in a bit of an injury crisis.
Everyone is saying injuries. Isn't it funny that last season we were all talking about how big of a problem the injuries thing was? No one's like the fans themselves are talking about it, but the media and the press, we're not really talking about the injuries that much. But this is back-to-back seasons now where this is happening.
We've just lost our record signing, striker Evan Nilsson, for a few months, and his understudy, Unau, is out for the season. So we're down to the bare bones a little bit. So my head says we can still get 10th. I'm going to go 10th with my head. I think we've still got enough to be able to get the top half. But down here, we like to defy the odds. We like to surprise people. So could we do something special? 7th European tour? Could
Come on, man.
I mean, stranger things have happened, Jim. And
absolutely.
You know me. Always follow your heart. It's renewed. I'll tell you what. Could we?
Come on, Tom. Nothing gets me going like bloody Tom. Tommy Jordan, more like Tommy Hardon. Too much? Bournemouth could do it, man. I'm going to be doing a video soon, I think, ranking the first 11s of every squad. And Bournemouth is good, really good. And they've got a real chance if they can keep it going because of the mix that they've got from that squad, despite not having that out-and-out striker. Because even like without having that striker, a lot of the chances that you'll end up getting aren't your normal striker chances, if that makes sense. So you can still score goals. And likes of Semenyo, likes of Kluivert, there's other players scoring goals as well. So why bloody not? Right, let's keep this optimism train going.
I think my head is telling me that
Brighton.
we've had a lot
Joey
of
boy.
new players this season. We've spent a lot of money. Maybe a lot of people would expect us to be doing a little bit better. But of course, we've got a very young manager, inexperienced in Premier League terms. So I think we need that little bit of patience back amongst the fan base. My head is saying a mid-table finish. I would probably say 11th. My heart, of course, is looking up towards those European places. We've been in Europe once. We want to get back there. So yeah, my heart is saying 8th place for the Albion.
Okay. I'd quickly love to see, what did he say last year? I'd be intrigued to know that. I wonder if it's about the same. And it's an interesting one. Brighton fans, are your expectations changing now? Asking about patience there. You know, Brighton are, it feels like you've kind of reached such heights and then you've sort of dipped somewhat, just the tiniest of bits. And so now the expectations are high. Interesting. I'll tell you what, it is a bloody good squad. And they can do big things this year if it all starts to click together. The consistency's weirdly not been there, though, so far this year. Maybe down to those injuries. And it's another one talking about injuries. Who is the Kanye West of football fan channels? Let me have a think. I'll come back to you.
Hi, James Locks here from Blue Tinted Glasses. Head versus heart predictions. Well, I'm going to start with the worst of the two. That is the head. And my head does tell me Leicester City will be relegated come the end of this Premier.
There's no... Sorry, I just realised this. There's no way that you're... Has anyone ever had a head prediction that is better than their heart prediction? Oh, no, I guess it depends which way you're leaning. Does your heart always say that it's going to work out, or does your heart always go, oh, no, this is not going to go right? Depends on who you are. Anyway, you can't go forwards if you're not positive, okay? You only stand still when you're negative. Smash that like button.
My heart, on the other hand, tells me we will stay up in 17th place. It's going to be really tight. The last few games of the season is probably, on paper, one of the easiest set of fixtures in the whole of the league. So I'm going to say we pick up a couple wins there to keep us up in 17th place.
So the last few fixtures, okay. Wolves, Southampton, Nottingham Forest. Be interesting to see where they are at by that point. Ipswich and Bournemouth. They need to go on a run. The problem you have with that yes, they're available to you, but probably at some other teams battling. Southampton might be dead and buried. Well, they probably will be, aren't they? Ipswich, who knows where they'll be. They might be battling with you. That could be enormous if Leicester can get moving. Tell you what, let's go to Ipswich. My beloved friend, Mikey.
My prediction for Ipswich Town, if I use my head, and of course it is a biased head, is that we're narrowly going to avoid relegation, finishing in 17th above Wolves, Leicester and Southampton. And I truly believe that we can do this. I think we've got the manager to do this in Kieran McKenna, a fantastic tactician, fantastic man manager. And we've got the players as well. We've got the goal scorer, Liam Delap. I think that we're going to just about score enough goals to stay up. We might need points on the final day of the season against West Ham, but I'm backing us to do it. If I predict with my heart, it's all going to be a lot more comfortable and we're going to finish one place higher in 16th, maybe also finishing above Crystal Palace or Everton. And we'll just be able to enjoy those last few games of the season. And we'll even reach the quarterfinals of the FA Cup for the first time in living memory. So that's me predicting
Quarterfinals. Wow. Yours is nearly... Wow. Ipswich's FA Cup run or ability is nearly as bad as Queen's Park Rangers. Not as bad, but nearly. Ipswich have got a chance. When you look at the squad, I think there's an excitement there. When you think of the fan base, they're connected with the manager. It does. The only thing that's put me off it is, and I think this is different because Luton didn't spend the same amount of money, didn't have the same quality in their squad. Yeah, maybe didn't even have the same quality of a manager. Brutal. But I think we all want them to do well. So are we sort of pandering to that a little bit? You know, as I'm recording this is off the back of a 6-0 defeat. But I think there is the quality there. Like, my head kind of feels like they've got a proper shot at it now. It's just if that overall quality can all come together and get the wins when they need the wins, but they do have goals in their team.
Here are my head and my heart predictions for Man City for the rest of the season. My head is saying a top 4 race and maybe a run in the FA Cup is all that a City fan can really realistically expect this season. I think that's fair. He can't win the Premier League every single season. It's a season of transition. Guardiola's got 2 more years to rebuild the side and go again next season. But in my heart, this City side have got the experience. If Ruben Diaz is fully fit, you look at someone like De Bruyne, if he can play for 6 weeks in a row, 8 weeks in a row at full fitness from now until the end of the season with Haaland up front, why can't City win the Champions League? I know it's outrageous, but this Real Madrid side aren't perfect. Liverpool are fantastic in the Champions League, but why can't City be an outsider, shot, just like Chelsea were when they sacked Villas-Boas, and obviously Di Matteo went in there and they won it with Ryan Bertrand at left back. I'm not saying it's likely City going to win the Champions League. Of course not. Probably 6th or 7th favourites. Might not even qualify out of the league at this stage. But if City get to the knockout stage of the Champions League and Haaland's still scoring goals in that competition, City could win the Champions League. Absolutely outrageous, but that's what my heart is saying.
Man City are always Man City aren't finished, are they? They're always a danger. I'm intrigued. I'm surprised Buvey says it's that outrageous. I think maybe when he's watching them week in, week out, the gaps in that midfield and the reliance still on De Bruyne, which is why I think he brought him up, I think is valid. So there's a lot of things that need to align. And you need to get away with the fact that, you just still don't have Rodri. And at the time of recording, haven't got a Rodri replacement to shore up that midfield out of possession. Out of possession, they look very shaky to me. And I think would probably get undone in the latter stages of the Champions League. But you got the firepower. So who is fighting for those Champions League places? Could it be this team? Aston Villa, up the Villa podcast. What are we saying?
Aston Villa, head v heart predictions. Let's go with the heart first. I mean, that's always...
Hang on a minute. I swear last year we had one of the greatest skin fades I've ever seen. Sorry, can we just focus on the skin fade here? This is what a year of success will do. It will lead you to growing the locks because you're too busy just bloody loving football, winning Champions League games against Bayern Munich.
He's saying that Aston Villa can still qualify for the Champions League with 4 points off Chelsea in 4th, 3 points off Newcastle in 5th place. A good end to the season could see us push for that 5th place, and I think if Villa actually do go deep into the Champions League, it should secure that 5th spot in the Premier League does get Champions League football as well, so up the Villa. Right, so my head is saying that obviously it was always going to be a difficult season for Aston Villa. Managing Champions League, Premier League as well, it's so intense, it's so tight, there's loads of good teams in the Premier League. So I actually feel like if we did finish 7th, Europa Conference League football next season, my head is saying that we're going to finish 7th, my heart is saying we're probably going to finish 5th. Up the Villa.
I think he's bang on there. I said that there would be that drop-off. Can't remember where I put them at the start of the season. What's going to be interesting is how far they go in the Champions League. And at the time of recording, if they have to go into the playoffs before getting into the next bit, because if they get into the playoffs, then that doesn't mean that they're through to the next round of that. So that could open up a lot, which could lead to them being able to focus back on the league and then, ensure that they get the points and don't have to rotate as much. So that could be an interesting one for them. Villa in the mix. Is such a good Premier League season this year. Who else is in the hunt? Let's have a look. What about Newcastle? Let's go true faith with Alex. Here we go.
So prediction for Newcastle United for the rest of this season. The head prediction tells me we have very, very hard away games to come. We've got to play a lot of the top sides away from home, and our record at them isn't great. We've also got the looming hopeful cup final on the horizon, provided we do the business against Arsenal. That might take a lot of emotional energy out of us, particularly if we don't add in the transfer window. So head prediction 7th, heart prediction, we're on 9 wins from 10 games despite a recent bad result. We're scoring goals, we're keeping them out generally, again ignoring the Bournemouth game, which seemed like one game too far. And lots of teams have got lots of problems. Lots of teams don't look great this season. It's a very competitive league. It's a league that anyone can beat anyone. So I'll go with a heart prediction of 4th place.
4th place, I don't hate that shout at all. I think, look, if you can get yourself back into Champions League, then that's enormous. And if the 5th spot is available, which is something I wasn't really thinking about too much, but that's the insight that we're getting from the guys here, which is amazing. The squad is always feeling just a touch thin at times, but at the moment, you've had that settled team and everyone who's really crucial has been fit. So the longer that goes on, the better. Just be the Arsenal one, we'll see, won't we? That defeat, I wonder if the Bournemouth one, is there a tensing up there, or was it just Bournemouth were too good and too overpowering in terms of their style of play? Interesting, because, Arsenal aren't mugs. That tie is not over. Everyone said it's over. I don't think it is over at all, especially when Newcastle have the pressure of the 2-goal lead. Right, it's that time. And one team that was dreaming of Champions League this year, for sure, would have been Flav. Now, we catch him at an awkward time, so I'm intrigued to see what this is. And also, after this, we'll show you a snippet of last year, because I swear last year, everything was rosy. But it ain't right now. Currently...
Hello, James.
In the bottom
right, so how does my head and heart feel about Tottenham Hotspur for the remainder of the season, given the fact that we've just been absolutely thumped by Everton? Probably not the best time to catch me, Jim.
I did say that.
What does my heart say? My heart says that we'll get our players back, and while the league form is a big worry, we'll end up finishing somewhere in mid-table. And we will go on a monumental and monumentous run to the Europa League final and win it with all of our players, and no injuries are going to happen for the rest of the season.
Okay.
My head says that the injury crisis will continue. Ange Postecoglou can't survive this situation and will probably lose his job. And we will once again, with the opportunity to win trophies, have Ryan Mason as our manager and go out on all of them. That's how I feel about Tottenham at the moment, Jim.
Yeah, cards on the table. Flav was one of the last ones to give me the video, and I think he was waiting for like something to hook onto to try and pull him out of what Tottenham are drowning in right now. It could change very, very quickly. It does feel like the focus is going to be on the cup competitions to get yourself back into Europe right now. But Flav, I think, has got the kind of tone right. But he feels like his head saying that Postecoglou's not going to make the end of the season. Wild. And let's show you the snippet from last year, because I swear the contrast is outrageous.
Tottenham Hotspur will launch a title challenge this year, and the fact that anyone out there would suggest that is a crazy thought is showing us a level of disrespect and a demonstration of a limited footballing knowledge. Never been happier being a Spurs fan. Not for many, many, many years.
Right, one of the stars of this series. We've done this for 3 years. In the first time we did it, Wolfie from Forest Fan TV said that that Forest would finish 4th. We laughed at him.
Before the season started, I thought we could get 4th.
Can I just take a minute, please? He's back, and they're currently 3rd in the league. And I presume he'll rub that in my face right now, and rightly so. What's he dreaming of?
Hi James, it's Wolfie here from Forest Fan TV. Hope you're doing well, matey, and you've asked for my head and heart prediction. I remember a couple of years ago saying to you, I reckon Forest could finish 4th, and you literally fell out of your chair.
Facts.
Well, mate, roll on a couple of years and look where we are. I was just ahead of my time. So hear me out on this one. Get ready to have your mind blown. I'm going to say Forest will win the league.
Come on!
Yes, I said it. That's my head and my heart prediction.
Bang, bang.
We're the only ones to beat Liverpool. It feels like the rest of the league have just given up, and we're carrying the weight of the Premier League on our shoulders, and we're hunting Liverpool down. In my opinion, we have the best defence in the league, pound for pound. Murillo and Milenkovic are sensational, and we're just not conceding goals. And as Cloughy famously once said, I hope anybody's not stupid enough to write us off. So James, are you going to write us off this season? Let me know.
Am I stupid enough to write off Nottingham Forest? Yes. I mean, I don't think you'll do it, but do I want to see you do it? Abso-bloody-lutely. Will Wolfie be insufferable if that occurs? Yes. But am I willing to take that? Absolutely. I'd love to see it. We broke it down on the Premier League YouTube channel. If you guys don't know, I do a show on there, so go check it out if you like your tactics. And in it, we were talking about the goals that they need to score, and I think that was the issue as much as anything. So many tight games, and so many games. I think it was 17 of the 21 when we did it a week ago that they've taken the lead in. Can they keep that going? If they can, that gives them a chance. Can they score more goals? Will they tense up? Will the opposition try harder. Those are all aspects of it. But why not, man? I love it. Let's take a trip to Baztown, Toffee TV, great Everton channel.
Hello everyone, it's Baz from Toffee TV. Goodison Park behind me. This is my prediction for where Everton will finish, both with my head and my heart. Delighted to be part of this. Listen, Everton have just changed the manager. Sean Dyche has been sacked. It was time. It was definitely time to move him on. Things weren't working anymore, and Everton have brought in David Moyes. Obviously, he's been at Everton before, managed over 500 games for the Toffees, knows the club, knows the fans. There's obviously hugely experienced, being at West Ham, won the Conference League and things like that. So we are more optimistic, definitely, than what we were. So my head prediction is Everton finish the season 14th. And my heart prediction is Everton finish the season 10th and win the FA Cup.
10th?
Baz! See you later.
Baz. Right. I mean, to be fair, no, you're 13 points off 10th. Baz. I know I'm going to get a WhatsApp from you. You know, I love you dearly. That's mental. There's no way. Now, David Moyes, I thought you're spot on. What he knows is the tone of Everton. I think that's the biggest thing, and I think it's something that Everton fans can get their teeth into, and I think they'll enjoy it. And I think you will go on a strong run, but to finish 10th, that's mad to me. I'll be honest, but I love a dreamer, and that's fine. And Baz is always optimistic with it, as I'm asking him to be. So well done, Baz, but I can't see it. But I look forward to being wrong. Clip it up, and I hope I am wrong. Let's stay in Merseyside, shall we? Let's talk to Redmen TV and its page.
Heart prediction. I've not said this out loud yet. Is that Liverpool will win the league? Obviously, it was going to be like that.
He's jinxed it.
I just feel like no one is
Look how
really
giddy.
doing what we've seen in the previous.
Sorry, look how giddy he is. Look, when he says it. There. There.
Said this out loud yet. Is that Liverpool will win the league? Obviously, it was going to be like that. I just feel like no one is really doing what we've seen in the previous few years, and Liverpool are the best in the country, nay Europe at the moment. And my head prediction tells me it's going to be really, really difficult, but Liverpool are going to win the league. And a good friend of mine wrote a piece this week, Josh Williams, on his Substack, about how football fans basically celebrate penalties because of the 0.8 XG, and the likelihood is that your team ends up scoring. Well, according to all the stats, we've got about a 0.9 chance of winning the league. So the head prediction using stats is to say that Liverpool are going to win the league. And yet I feel there's going to be a twist and a turn. But I do think that Liverpool are going to win the league.
Amazing. Look, I think Chris got that spot on. By the way, Josh Williams is fantastic. The pair of them do this amazing show. I love watching. And there's so much interesting stuff on that. So make sure you check them both out. Redmen TV, of course, as well. Links in the description. But like you say, they should comfortably do it. That's how I see it. And when you're looking at expected goals against and for as well, they are comfortable and comfortably ahead of the other competition this year as well. So absolutely the right answer for Payjack. But obviously football's a funny one, isn't it? And one must beware hubris at all times. Right, we've got Rory, we've got Goldbridge, we've got Sharky. Let's go Rory next.
Mr. James Lawrence Allcott, thank you so much for the nod. I love your channel and it's an honour to be invited upon it. I love this segment that you do, the head and the heart predictions. So we'll start with the heart. We will be optimistic. What is going to happen to Chelsea for the remainder of the season? What is the maximum that we can accomplish? Because at the beginning of the season, I wasn't too optimistic. There was then a period where I genuinely believed that we could dream about winning the title. And since then, it has gone totally off the boil. So the fact of the matter is, I don't really know. what is going to happen. So the dream is that we somehow find our form. Let's remember, on the 22nd of December, we went to Goodison Park, and had we won at Goodison Park, we would go top of the league.
That's
we were
true.
playing an away game against Everton, a winnable away game against Everton, less than a month ago, with the opportunity of going to the top of the league.
Wow.
Of course, Liverpool would have had a game in hand and whatever else, but
Right.
it would have been a symbolic move. 3 of the teams that we have played since then were actually in the bottom 5 when we played them. So I do not understand what's happening. If we can just find a shadow of our former self, I believe that we are capable of making it into Champions League qualification. If we can finish in the top 4, and I'm not a proud man, top 5 if it has to be top 5 if it goes our way, that would be an excellent season. If we can marry that up with some European silverware, which I think we should, and maybe even a domestic trophy, that would be the dream, the icing on the cake. That is what I am hoping for. The reality is, I don't think we make Champions League. If I'm giving you my head prediction here,
Wow.
I think that Chelsea are looking slightly flawed. I think that we have run out of ideas. I feel like Enzo Maresca is making some mistakes, and I feel like we are so heavily reliant upon Cole Palmer, and when he isn't playing to his absolute maximum, we don't win a game. We now are about to embark upon some very tough fixtures. And being totally honest, I feel like the teams around us just have a little bit more momentum and a little bit more belief and a little bit more acumen and experience than we do. At the beginning of the season, if we didn't make the European Cup, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But expectations through a season change, and to not make it now really would feel disappointing. As always, mate, thank you so much for having me on. Sorry it took me so... Actually, you don't want to on the video. But just so you know, I am really sorry it took so long to send you this video. Hope you're well, mate. Let's try and get lunch soon. Loads of love.
Oh, can we put that in, by the way? Just show how much of a dream Rory is. I'm surprised, I'll be honest. I'm surprised that he doesn't think that they can get to the Champions League. To be fair to Rory, recorded before the Wolves game. So maybe they're just like all fans, you just feel like it's never going to turn when it's, you're in a bad period. Another interesting thing that, again, fans just don't think of, we don't think of, but fans will be thinking is the next run of games. Yep, okay, it's going well right now, but look at the next run of the games. Or if we've got to be winning these games because of the next run of games. So interesting. I'm surprised. I thought that he would feel strong about them getting into the Champions League, and I think there could be some moves still to be made in the transfer window. So time will tell, but yeah, cautious optimism from Rory there. Right, next up, Sharky, who's been very, very good with his predictions over the years. Last year, I think he was scared to say that they would win it. I wonder if he'd be a bit more bullish. Sometimes he is. Let's find out.
All right, James. I'm back to do this. I don't want to do it, but
he's so good looking, isn't he? Whoa.
Asked me, so I'll do it for you.
Ah.
These are my head
you,
and
mate.
heart predictions for where Arsenal finish this season. To be honest with you, everyone knows I'm a positive fan, and I'm going to stay that way. I'm not going to change that because things aren't looking too bad right now. We're 4 points behind Liverpool at the time of recording. I know they have a game in hand, but it's about the points on the board. Okay, my head still says we'll finish second. Okay, but my heart says we can win it.
Mate.
And that's the problem, I think.
I love
think
that.
that's the problem. Sometimes in life, you don't always go with your heart because your heart can lead you astray. But I really think we could do it. I mean, we're 4 points behind. Liverpool are going to drop some more points. They haven't been perfect. But the problem is we have a lot of injuries and we need to capitalise when they do drop points. And we do have that game at Anfield. So my heart says we can do it and my head says second. So first and second, that's what I'm saying. I really want to win.
I know you
Great
did.
to finally win the league.
It would. I wouldn't mind
Some
seeing
predictions.
Sharky win the league
Hopefully
finally. Love you, Sharky. What a guy. I know how he feels. You don't want to put yourself out there, but I'm like that with QPR. So again, everyone who's done it, massively, massively appreciate it. I think it's understandable. Look, the machine of Arsenal can be incredibly impressive and can get you to where you want to be. And I think it will get them to where they want to be at some stage. Will this be the season? I don't know. And is that a missed opportunity? I think Liverpool have been very, very good. But with Man City dropping off the way they have, it does sting a little bit. But things can change so quickly. And as I've done on my second channel, go check it out, more James Allcott. We hit 20k, by the way. Thank you, everyone who subscribed. It's mind-blowing. Arsenal win that XG battle every single game. And so if they can get the luck going their way, they could go on one hell of a run. Right, last but not least, of course, the man, the myth. It's Goldbridge.
Hello everybody, Mark Goldbridge here, and I'm giving my heart and head predictions for Manchester United in the Premier League this season. Look, heart would love to be top 5 It's not going to happen. Absolutely not. I mean, we're miles off. It's like saying Man City are going to win the league. I think the head says we need to focus on cups, Europa League, and looking at the quality of the Premier League this season. It's so hard to go and win games consistently. Hats off to teams like Newcastle and Forest who've done it. I'm going to say Man United ninth. I think that's realistic. We are going to lose more games. We are not actually a very good team, although I think we've got a good coach and we're heading in the right direction. I think ninth is... It's about who's going to finish above us. And I think I can see 8 teams better, maybe 9. So ninth might be optimistic.
Last year we had, I'm sure we had a sound from Mark last year. So I think this is something I've been thinking about a lot, is that we get lost by the badge of Man United. And I feel like, understandably, Mark's actually, if he really looks at the table, I think he's off it a little bit here, because at the moment, at the time of recording, 8 points off 9th. 8 points off 9th. So you've got to go on one hell of a run to claw that back. There is time. But for that to be the head, 5th is, like, and he said that himself, that's outrageous. I think it's 12 points to 5th at the time of recording. But Man United could absolutely finish in the bottom half this year. Quite comfortably. They do seem to go on that little bit of run, little cluster of games at the end of the season during these last few years where they struggled. But I'm surprised. Quite punchy from the head of Mark Goldbridge. Thank you to everyone who's done that. Links to all of them are in the description. If you support a team from one of these clubs, go and support those creators that do content for those clubs because they care about their club. Support the culture, get behind the lads and the ladies, and I'll speak to you guys soon.